Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to another Assassin Apocalypse. And for today we are going to take a look at Nemesis. And as you probably noticed already, we are in the Hell Arena. So this one is a bit older, but it doesn't matter too much because she actually is a lot better at the moment because she received a buff in the latest patch. Which is great, she definitely deserves it. She is a very fun god and very useful in certain situations as well. She doesn't perform well against everything, but she definitely has her strong sides. So, let's start off with her passive. When Nemesis deals a basic attack, the target will have his power reduced by 6% per basic, up to maximum of 4 stacks. So his magical or physical power can be reduced by 24%. That is an awful lot of power being reduced. She also gets a buff that will increase her power by 6% per stack. The reason why it's not stolen from the enemy is because if they are low on the damage department, you will still get a good buff from them, which is definitely very useful. Try to block as much as I can, trying to save the Kraken, and he survives, which is great. So, Nemesis' first ability, you saw me use it there. It is a dash, and within 2 seconds of the dash, you will have the opportunity to have another dash. She'll basically have 2 dashes. They can both be aimed separately, which can be very important to deal all the damage. And as well, use it as a really evasive skill. You can go forward with the first dash, for instance, and sideways, or even back with the second. They deal damage to anything it passes through, which can be gods, so you can use it to secure some damage. You usually don't really want to do that though. Getting plugged into a stick situation, but I might... Ooh, that is an insane amount of burst, and I am picked up for that kill. Well played on their part. Really able to instantly erase me. I am an assassin, of course. I don't have any additional health, so that makes things more difficult. Her second ability is Slice and Dice, and she will basically slap her swords together, dealing damage. And the middle part is actually the one that's a bit more interesting, because the middle... Okay, never mind.
We interrupt this program to bring you Nemesis! Nemesis, cereal of the gods.
Well, that was weird. Those Nemesis do look divine though. Anyway, where was I? Okay, so her second ability. Slice and Dice. When you hit someone in the center with it, they will receive double damage. Anyone off center will receive just the one-time damage. And the ones that are hit in the center will also be slowed for 2 seconds for 30 up to a maximum of 50% depending on the rank. This can be very useful. 50% slow at maximum rank is just a lot, and it can deal a good amount of damage. As you can see, slowing the Sobek for a lot. Decent amount of damage as well. Anyone off center won't be hit as much. So that's an interesting one. Can definitely deal a lot. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Kraken getting eaten up by the dragon. I'm not going to act scared though. I wasn't gone for a very long time, so I should be fine. Especially in arena, since you get levels and gold over time by a good amount, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. So, third ability. A third ability is a shield. You can activate the shield. It will grant you health. Depending on the rank, it will grant you 100 health at rank 1, up to a maximum of 500 health at maximum rank. This shield will last for 2 seconds. And the interesting part about the shield is that when you receive damage, or the damage that you would receive, as for the damage that is on your shield, on the additional health you gain from your shield, is reflected to the enemy. The reflected damage is 30 up to 50% of the damage they dealt. So for instance, if you get hit for an ultimate of 1000, then 500 is reflected. So also instantly remove the shield because of the fact that it hits so much, but you get the point. Also, you get healed for an amount of the damage you receive while you have your shield on. So when you have your shield, for instance a maximum rank shield for 500, and someone hits you, it will actually heal you up underneath your shield. So if you're not full HP and you use your shield, you can heal up. Of course, when your shield is gone, the 500 health, it won't heal or reflect anymore. The healing is 60% of the damage you receive, up to a maximum of 100%. So if you max out your 3, you'll get 100% of the damage dealt to you back as healing, which is nice. Can be a lot of healing. But you do have to take into consideration, very important part about the shield is that it is removed on CCs. So knock-ups, stuns, mass, I'm not sure if cripples. I don't think cripples will, but all the others will though. And that is very, very important because it is a high health shield. It's 500 health, it heals you, it reflects damage. That is just very rough altogether, if it is removed by CC. Fortunately enough, our Ul was picked up. Beautiful Hades ultimate. I used my shield just to make sure I get away. I won't receive any healing because of the Osiris ultimate, but I'm able to get out. Unfortunately enough, my team is not able to. And at this point, we are behind by a good amount, 2-8. It isn't the worst thing. Nemesis is just a lot better overall when she gets to the late game, because she relies on her in-hands a lot, and you will get more in-hand damage the later the game goes. So, her final ability, and probably one, well, that makes her Nemesis, is her ultimate. Her ultimate will select a target. It cannot be missed. You can select the target you want to ult. This target will receive damage based on their current health. If they have just their entire health bar left, it will deal, well, it will just deal 30 up to 50% of their current health. So if they are at 50% and you have your maximum ultimate, it will reduce them to 25% health. If you of course have the penetration. I think this ultimate is affected by the amount of defense you have, but it can still heal you for, not heal you, it can still hit for a lot. Most importantly about this one is that you actually reduce the enemy protections by 50% at all ranks. This is a change. First it was a progressive protection steal, getting more protections later in the game. And as you can see, Sobek uses his dash, insane amount of damage on him actually with that ultimate, reducing his protections. Fortunately enough, he is still able to get away, but it is a very effective one because you saw how much damage the Sobek took from us. Just an insane amount of damage altogether with that damage, and actually he sticked around in the end. We're still able to pick him up. Definitely very powerful ultimate, especially against more tanky targets. But don't get me wrong, if you use it on squishies as well, it's just an insane amount of burst damage and they will die even quick, which is nuts. This protection steal will last for 5 seconds, and it will also reduce their movement speed for 25%. This movement speed increase will be gained as Nemesis. So when you use your ultimate, you will gain a buff that increases your movement speed by 25%, and this buff will last for 8 seconds. So it will last longer than the debuff on the enemy. Interesting part about this ultimate as well is that the cooldown is a bit shorter than the regular ultimates. It is a cooldown of 70%. Nice sprint, prevents the slow by my 2 actually. Otherwise I would have been able to in-hand at least to make sure I get it. A bit late on the blink, not the blink, a bit too late on the beat or purification. Not able to get rid of the Sobek block and got picked up by the enemies. Bit rough, but I guess it's fine. So that's are all her abilities. So she relies on slows a lot. She has a slow on her 2, a slow on her ultimate, as well as a shield that can be very useful, but is gone for in 2 seconds. It's removed by CCs, so you really need to be careful when you use it. There are gods that can remove it very, very quickly, or even if you play it not the right way, you can remove it yourself. For instance, if you look at the Nox silence, if you dash into the silence with your shield activated, you cannot use your shield anymore because it's gone. It counts as the CC, so it is very difficult for a Nemesis to deal with the Nox, because if she just silences you, you lose your shield instantly. So you always want to make sure that when you use your shield, it is at the moment that you receive a lot of damage. And as you can see over the wall, you can't miss the ability. You can't even use it in the air. And we are able to burst down Sol instantly. She thought there was nobody around, and I guess she was right, but we were able to rotate very quickly. I used sprint just to make sure that might be able to get away. You need to be a bit careful. I can use my shield, like I said, to heal up a bit and get no damage for duration. But unfortunately enough, Hades is picked up. I wasn't able to do anything about that. I just tried to zone out some of them while making sure I survive myself. So, yeah. So that covers her abilities. Also the buff on your passive lasts for 5 seconds. Interesting one. So it can grant you a lot. I mean 24% additional power as well as 24% reduced power on the target is very powerful. When you go for a bit more attack speed oriented build on Nemesis, can be very powerful because you can get your passive off a lot more quickly. So my build, I go for the Warrior Tabi. I like this one the best because of course you have your slice and dice and your in-hands will deal a lot more damage. It will also make sure that your passive will get more power as well. So altogether I think it's a very good item to pick up. I went for the Jotuns afterwards, provides a bit of pan. Cooldown reduction, very important on her. This allows her to dash more, use her 2 more to poke and slow, use her shield more to deal the damage, or reflect the damage, or heal up, and use her ultimate to just get rid of any protections on enemy side. And especially when they're more tanky and you do have a very high burst lineup, because for instance we have the Bracken can hit a lot, Hades can hit a lot, Apache can hit an insane amount of damage. If you pair his detonate with your ultimate, if you ult before it detonates, it is just an insane amount of additional damage. And of course you have the ult, which also can deal with a decent amount of damage depending on the build, of course. Well, it's still a hunter, so I guess you can always get a lot of damage out of it. Just insane. So, my third item is the Frostbound Hammer. So, this really works on her pretty well, in my opinion. It grants her a bit more health, making her a bit more tanky, because she is an assassin that needs to get closer. And it also slows the enemies a lot more. This will make sure they get a sprint for sure, but they probably would have gotten it anyway, and this way you have more ways to proc it. Also the slow is just very good to fight against more carry-like types, so definitely a good one to probably pick up. So that I went for an interesting strategy. I actually blocked. I saw that the Neath was hitting the basics on the Hades, so I went in front of the Hades while still attacking the Ao Kuang, using my shield to make sure that I don't take as much damage and making sure that the Hades survived a lot longer. He was picked up in the end, but I think it was very effective to at least make sure that he was able to do it a lot longer. Make sure his ultimate didn't get removed so quickly. And as you saw there, Sol 2 came out. I instantly, kinda in a reactionary way, used my shield to prevent the damage, and just altogether insane amount of healing, getting no damage from her 2 altogether. So if you use it at the right moment, you can heal up, prevent all the damage. A very good ability is her shield, but like I said, with the CC removing it, you do need to be very careful when to use it. Also, execute will still go through, but with every single shield that provides additional health, it won't save you from any execute based abilities. Even though with the additional health, not really, it's additional shield, so it's not additional health, you are still in the threshold. As you see, insane amount of damage, good amount of healing. I do need to make sure that I get away. Nice sprint by my teammate to make sure that I'm able to get away safely. My fourth item is Breastplate. In this game I liked it a lot because of the more cooldown I get from it, to make sure I can use my ults even more. 40% on the 70 seconds. It's about a 40-second cooldown now on my ultimate, which is just insane. And as you saw, using it on the Ao Kuang, very powerful. I have a little lack of attack speed at this point with this build, so you might want to get more attack speed when you play her. Especially with the Chinzes. Chinzes is very good on the Nemesis. It's definitely an item I can recommend when you go for that damage build. If you really only go for the ultimate, then go for a full cooldown reduction build and get a Frostbound to at least, well, peel for your team in another way, just to be very annoying with slows. I don't recommend a building as tank only. A very good build on her is just straight up attack speed build with perhaps a crit item in it as well. Chin says just a very good item altogether for her. Very good to pair it with an Ichaval or an Ikaval. Very cheap attack speed item, also reduces the enemy power. That way they have almost no power against you with your passive as well. So that is a very good item to go for. I went for a more cooldown reduction oriented build, but a very good build is an attack speed build as well. Especially with her passive, with her ability to slow gods with the ult and her 2, making sure that she is able to deal an insane amount of damage in a short amount of time with that. And as you can see, hitting almost 500 with my ultimate, but it also provides the slow, it provides the, like I said, the protection reduction, altogether very good ability. So this game, let's go over this game a bit. It is a bit of a rough game, as you probably noticed already. I'm really struggling playing her correctly. It is a very difficult one. Like I said, she deals very bad with the CCs. She can get CC'd out of her dash as well. If you get CC'd after your first dash, you won't be able to get your second one. You can cancel your second one as well, but you won't be able to use it anymore, which is kind of annoying sometimes. But like I said, CCs are just very powerful against them. There are a lot of gods that struggle with CCs, but I think Nemesis is one that struggles with it a lot. She also doesn't deal too well with the cripples, of course, because she relies on her dash a lot. As well as the fact that, well, removing her shield, it's painful. Especially if it doesn't get rid of any damage you receive. I use my ultimate just to deter him a bit. I'm not sure who I use it on. I used it on Osiris. Try to deal a good amount of damage to him. With my shield, I'm able to do it for a good amount of time. If the enemy is really looking out for my shields, then Sobek will just tail whip me when I go forth with my shield, making sure that, well, he removes it instantly. And I saw there, I used it on the Soul ultimate. It did knock me up, but it did damage first, so I am able to heal off of it, reducing the damage I gain from it, or receive from it. So, interesting god, definitely one that has a lot of potential, but definitely also one that really needs to look at her positioning a lot when she goes in. Like I said, the ultimate is very good at making sure that your team is able to pick up more tanky targets, but usually, especially with my build at least, it is very difficult to pick up someone on your own, so you might want to rely on your teammates. Also interesting part to notice, when you get hit by minions or for instance tower shots, your shield will not heal, and that is something you have to take into consideration, of course. When you go into a tower range, you can use it to shield the damage, but you will not receive any healing from it, and that might be very important for you. If you can heal up, it is very powerful. So, interesting god, quite mobile. She has, of course, the increased movement speed on her ultimate use for 8 seconds, as well as 2 dashes, so it is definitely a good god. I might be able to do something with the Neath arriving. I elect not to go for it, but I'm getting chased by the enemy acquiring Neath ult use as well, blocked by my teammate. I am able to get out safely. I had to use sprint though. The slow on the Alquang 2 is just a bit too much. If I didn't use it, I probably would have died because I did have my ultimate, but when you're slowed and I don't have my dashes, it's just very difficult to deal with. Good amount of damage on Osiris actually. I might or should have used my ultimate on him. I used it on the Sobek this time, and you might wonder why I used it on the Sobek. Well, he did use his dash. I kind of figured that we would have been able to lock him down, not taking into consideration the Mantle of Discord. Very good at getting rid of slows, as well as just making sure that you deal with that, with your opponents that are near you, with that stun. Beautiful play by the ul, by the way, making sure that we are able to pick up the Alquang. I am in a bit of troubles now. I try to avoid all the slows as I can, using the double dash to greatly increase the distance I have towards my enemies. And Kraken is there alone. Actually, beautiful Hades ultimate, able to pick up the last kill. So even though it might look dire to us, we were able to pick up the victory with only 7 points to spare. So in the end, we did win. I could have performed a lot better, I have to admit that, but Nemesis can be very difficult to play, and do take into mind that this is not yet her buffed passive as well as her buffed ultimate, so she is a lot better at this point, but we'll have to see what I can do. I use my sprint first because of course I am in the middle, so I'll just make sure that I can do that one. Try to deal as much damage as I can. It is very difficult to pick a good target. Beautiful Osiris ultimate hitting the two of us, knocking me back a bit in the lava. Might be able to pick someone up. I pick up the soul, but at this point it might be a bit of a pickle. I don't have any abilities. I could go for the in-hands, and at this point it is unfortunate. Beautiful Hades ultimate, fearing 3 of them, 1 in the lava. Oh no, that was the only thing. He probably would have won that if he wasn't plucked into the lava. That was rough, but beautiful Hades 2-3 combo. Finished off 2 instantly, feared someone in the lava, was able to pick up a triple kill instantly while he was on his own. After that he was against the Sobek, and the only thing the Sobek could probably have done to win that one was to pull him into the lava, and he was able to do that because the beats came out a bit too late. That is very unfortunate. Decent amount of damage actually. Like I said, the ultimate can't be missed, and it deals a very good amount of damage, especially late game, and with the cooldown reduction I was able to use it a lot of the times, either forcing someone back or try to burst someone down. As you can see, got the achievement, steal away those protections, 500 in a single match. It is not too difficult anymore, especially with the buff ultimate, but it's definitely something that is a reward. It just basically says use your ult on tanky targets, or use your ult in a long game. Use it often. You want to initiate with it, especially with the build I went for. If you really have an extended fight, I can use my ultimate. We can try to burst someone down, instantly bring someone down very low. Especially in Conquest, for instance, it basically forces someone back immediately. And then when you have the full cooldown reduction, you can use it again, even before they are back. So it is a very, very good ultimate to use. It's not something you should hold, you should just use it. And when you pair it with something very, very high burst, it is most effectively. For instance, the Apwash combination with the detonate of his corpses, or an axe and hail of arrow combo by the Ul, or just straight up a strong ultimate, like for instance, gods that weren't here, Kukulkan ultimate, Ra ultimate. Just a lot of ultimates that are very high power. You can use the ultimate in effectiveness because it slows, it reduces the protections, it deals a lot of damage as well, setting that up greatly. So this is the ultimate you kind of want to use as much as possible, and can be used very effectively if you coordinate it with your teammates. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something about this video. And as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.